and you will be disqualified for that. And in that moment, it's like, man, I was pissed. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed. Like, but I wasn't mad at them. I was mad at me.
I don't know what they feeling. I don't know what they thinking. Bro, my soul's invincible like Mario when he blanket.
What's good, YouTube? How y'all doing? This is not gonna be an unfiltered thoughts. This is gonna be a story time type video. Do a story time-ish thing. I've said this repeatedly in a couple other videos, how I was training, I would say for probably the past like 9 months for a bodybuilding competition. This is gonna be my first ever show. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I was extremely nervous. I was extremely nervous going into it because I've never done it before, you know. And then that comparison, you know, being on social media, looking at different people and like athletes and like, man, I do not look like that guy and he's doing a competition, maybe I'm not ready, right? And despite that, everyone around me, you know, and not only everyone around me, but just kind of everything I've learned about God and how he calls us to live, like committing to it. So was my commitment, my ability to commit was increased, right? So although I was nervous and though I was, you know, had that fear trying to stop me, you know, as the word says, right, you're not given a spirit of fear, but power, love, and sound mind. I was committed. So I'll put in like in the month out from the show, you know, I did a little clip and I'll add that here. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? This is gonna be the start of my updates as I get ready to do this bodybuilding show. To be honest, right now, we're about 3 weeks out and I don't want to do it. And it's really because my physique is not where I think it should be, and I feel like I don't have enough time to get it right in this short amount of time. And you know, now I'm starting to get the like, I don't want to say, it's not like I'm afraid, but I'm just getting nervous. And it's like, man, what if everyone else gets up there and they look better than me, you know? And I'm not perfect, and I have this problem of wanting to be perfect and pursuing perfection. So I want to do it and do it perfectly. But you know, I made a commitment. I said I'm going to do this show. I paid money to do this show, and now I need to honor my commitment, whether I look like I want to or I don't, and I'm just going to get out there and do it. And I was very nervous and uncomfortable just because of that kind of like imposter syndrome. And I still decided to commit. You know, it was like, Kamari, you said you're going to do this, so now you're going to do it and you're going to finish it through. And that was my plan. And I started working towards that. And as I was going through this process, I was learning more about dietary things, learning more about my workouts, kind of how to prepare for a competition, because I have a way greater understanding and respect for the sport now that I've, you know, went through this process of prepping for a show, even posing, right? I had no clue about any of those things prior to this, right? I mean, let me not lie, I worked out all the time. Kind of going to the gym was my thing. Growing up, high school, everything, that was like my sport that I liked, you know. Other sports, I was never the greatest at them. I wasn't the most athletically gifted. I mean, I would say I had ability to be, but because in the intro I wasn't super good at it, I would always kind of shy away because I wanted to be the best at everything when I was growing up. Now, being older, I understand that you're not going to start out the best, but you got to start in order to grow and gain understanding and increase your skill level. But the one thing that I really did enjoy was going to the gym and lifting weights. And growing up, I always looked at like Generation Iron, Pumping Iron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, like all these big bodybuilders. And I would see the documentaries on them, watch videos on them, and be like, man, I want to be like those guys one day. I want to go do a show, do a competition. And it was always in the back of my mind since a kid. And then now I'm here, right, 24 years old, like, what's stopping you? Why are you not doing a show? So I'm like, okay, we're gonna sign up and do a show. And I'm doing that, and as you saw in that first clip, right, 30 days out from the show, I was nervous, scared because it's something new. I have no experience in it, and that the fear of the unknown will try to hold us in many things. And leading out like 9 days before the show, I made this clip. If I'm being honest with y'all, I did not prepare for this the way that I should have. And now I'm going to go up there however I am, whether I feel ready or I look ready or I look where I want it to be. Now I'm far from where I wanted to be. I could have started my cut earlier. There's a lot of things I could have done earlier in order to be in a better position right now. And I'm actually what I knew about was working out and what I needed to eat. Posing, how long my cut should be, all those things I didn't really pay no mind. I just kind of winged it and was like, I'll figure it out. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have prepared more and put in more preparation. And now it is what it is. Wherever I'm at is where I'm at, and I'm gonna go out there. After that time, 9 days out, I'm like, dang, I totally underprepared. And a learning lesson, I learned a lot through that, and seeing that, posing takes a lot more time than I thought. Like, I knew about what to eat, what not to eat, how to train, but underestimating things like, where is my body weight at? Like, what is my body fat percentage? How much time do I need to lose this amount of weight? All those types of things I didn't understand, but still, even though I'm not in the peak maximum level I could be, I'm gonna get on stage and do it. Why? Because I made a commitment to do it. And I'm still headstrong, and as I'm going, I'm learning new things and I'm applying them as I go. And I think that's an important skill that I learned in this process of yeah, you may start something new and try it and not understand it fully, but you have to actually start doing it. You have to have some type of motion, right? You can have an idea here, but if you're not applying it, it's useless, right? Even if you don't have everything, right? Most people go into a bodybuilding show, they have a fitness coach, a gym coach, a whole scheduled out routine, and this, and the third. I was not paying $500 a month to have a coach. I was not going to pay to get a posing coach. Like, for me, it was like, I'll figure it out. Being my first show, I didn't want to invest extreme amounts of money and then I do it and then I don't like it after, right? So I was like, I can learn, I can teach myself, even making these videos. I've taught myself how to do this. So in me learning and training is like, oh, boom, I learned this. I have some friends that have done some shows, so I reached out to them. Shout out to Norman and Landon. Thank you guys, because they helped me with my posing and kind of how to increase my cut so I could look better, right? But boom, we're going and I'm training and I'm burning the body fat. I'm getting my poses down, and it's like 9 days out, and I'm extremely nervous, scared, like, oh no, I don't know how this is gonna work out. And then I'm starting to gain that confidence and like, wow, okay, you just practice. If you keep practicing, keep going, you're gonna get more comfortable. And now I'm feeling ready, I'm excited to do the show. And then boom, I get an email. Now mind you guys, I applied for the OCB, which is the Natural Bodybuilding League, because I wasn't taking any illegal substances. So I was like, I'm gonna do the Natural League. But this is where I messed up, because I didn't look at the fine print. Flashback to when I'm in college, right before my 20th birthday, so I'm 19 at the time, I'm 20, right before my 21st. I'm looking online and I'm like, I keep seeing stuff about SARMs and this particular one, Rad 140, and I'm like, people are gaining muscle, they're doing this or doing that, and they're taking this SARM, and it's just a liquid and you put it in your mouth and it's not steroids, but it's getting people jacked. So I'm like, okay, and do some research, study, and then I find out a place where I can get it, and I buy it. So I buy it, and I start using it for, I would say, about a month, and I probably put on like 15 pounds in a month, which is insane. If you know anything about lifting, like, that's insane, of just solid muscle. Then come to find out, I had long hair at that time, and I cut it off, And I look and I was losing my hair, so I stopped taking it because I'm like, dang, it's making my hair fall out. Never take anything like that again, you know. And I was big for a little bit. Eventually I ended up falling off of consistency from working out, so I get skinny. And fast forward to now, it's like, man, I want to get back into the gym and I want to do a bodybuilding show. So for the past, I would say longer than a year, I've been training and lifting, building up muscle, you know, working on my consistency every day in the gym, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, right, in the gym, consistently focused, locked in, training. And I get an email about 3 days before the show. And then it kind of goes through the guidelines of that league. And I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on. And I click on the page, and there's a page that says, oh, we don't allow banned substances, da da da. Here's a list of the banned substances. Already in my mind, I'm like, I know it's a banned substance. I'm not taking anything but creatine and BCAAs. But I click on the page, and then it's got more details, right? And I click that link, and it says, you can't have taken a SARM for the past 7 years. Now, mind you, that story I told you about me taking SARMs was 4 years ago. So I'm sitting there like, dang. It's been 4 years since I've taken it, but they require 7 years. And I have to take a polygraph test, right? And I'm sitting like, man, should I just lie? I've been putting all this work, effort and energy to training and get to here. And now I'm finding out that I'll be disqualified. Yeah. And so I start looking into how do I pass a polygraph test? How do I lie? And how do I do that? And then I'm talking to people around me like, man, I'm just gonna have to lie because I done invested money, time, and energy into doing this. I wanna do this show. I signed up for it. 4 days before the show is when I got the email. 2 days before, I'm sitting there on the treadmill doing my cardio, and I'm just telling myself, you took SARM 7 years ago. 7 years ago. I keep repeating it in my head to try to make myself believe that. And then it's like every moment I'm doing that, in my head it's like, no, you took it 4 years ago. It was like this other voice, you took it 4 years ago. And it becomes like this deep-rooted disturbedness in my spirit, like, you cannot lie. You cannot lie. And I'm like, man, and I can feel, like, I know when God is telling me something, like, and he's like, do not lie. Do not lie. And I'm like, man, I done put all this energy, this time into prepping for this, and now you're telling me I have to tell these people the truth and then risk being disqualified? So after contemplating, praying, and I'm just like, all right, number one, it's my fault that I didn't fully look into the details of the show. So had I done all my due diligence and looked at what they have banned and how long, I wouldn't have been in this predicament. But I decided, like, okay, God, what do I care about more? Doing this bodybuilding show or honoring you and actually living a righteous life? And I'm not saying this story to say that I'm perfect, because I'm not. But I decided, like, I'm going to tell the truth. So I called the promoter of the show and I'm like, hey, I see on the website you guys require 7 years from doing any SARMs. It's been 4 years for me. And she's like, well, I'm not the one that does that. You're gonna have to call this person and reach out to them and find out. So I hit them up, boom, they don't respond. So I'm still like, we're training as normal. 2 days from the show, hits me back, and then he's like, hey, come in for your polygraph. So I'm thinking like, oh, maybe they're gonna polygraph me and see if I'm lying about the 4 years. Boom, 3 hours later, response to my email like, yes, we require that you have waited 7 years from doing the show, and you will be disqualified for that. And in that moment, it's like, man, I was pissed, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed, like, but I wasn't mad at them, I was mad at me. Because had I gone fully through their website and looked, then I would have known this and saved myself this headache. But at the end of the day, I want to be a man of integrity to the best that I can, right? So yes, being honest cost me something. It cost me something to do the right thing, but in the end, my spirit felt at peace. Had I not been honest, I would have been embarking in this new journey, right? Because I'm going to do another bodybuilding show, and I'm going to pursue this. This is something that I found that I really enjoy. And had I started the foundation, right? This is my first show. I had the option of starting it in deceit or starting it in integrity. And the foundation of everything is important. So when weighing those options, it was like, I'm going to start this with pure intentions. And Proverbs 10:9, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his way crooked will be found out, right? So again, I want to be a man that walks in integrity, and I don't want to ever jump into something or do something out of deceit. And even though maybe I could have lied and got in the show and made it past that lie, they may have not known that, but God would have known, and I would have known. And eventually it would have came out in some way, form, or fashion. And in my spirit, I wouldn't have been able to deal with it. So because of that, I was disqualified for my first ever bodybuilding show. And now we start a new journey, because I'm going to do another show in 2025 in a different league against people that may be taking unnatural substances, but I will still stay natural. And I'm gonna document that journey and take you guys with me. And for people that watch me regular, Unfiltered Thoughts isn't going anywhere. I'm just adding more content. I'm gonna do new things. My Instagram, I'm gonna make specific Instagram content. So if you guys wanna follow me on this journey, definitely like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you have a blessed day. Peace.
Said that you don't got the victory over us now. No.
Yeah. All my life they always looked at me like I was perfect.